request for appeal of the zoning decision on the Watts property.
I'll make a motion, we add 8A.
Second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No abstention, motion carried. All right, discussion on this. John, you sent the information, you sent the opinion yesterday.
Yeah,
Further discussion earlier, so.
the police commission as an entity doesn't have any standing, in my view, to appeal. It's a arm of the town, doesn't own the property. So if the town owns the abutting property, arguably the town has standing for the appeal if the town is desirous of appealing. I have not participated in any of the P and Z matters, so I only know what has been sent to me. The thing passed, whatever resolution it was, passed by a 5-2 vote with 1 abstention. On the issue raised about conflict of interest, even if that all rises to the level of conflict, I'm putting aside the ethics considerations because it just doesn't play here. It's, there is a statute regarding people with an interest participating in the determination of participating as a member of the zoning commission. There is case law on the subject. But it wouldn't change the result. If the thing is appealed and we knock off 2 of the members, it's still a 3-2 vote. In fact, there's a body of law that says abstentions count with the majority, so arguably it's a 4-2 vote because of these.
So the appeal wouldn't actually force it to go back for reconsideration?
Not necessarily. The issue of whether or not true information, I assume there's some discussion about, from what I've seen and that Peggy sent and this discussion this morning, there's some issue about whether or not full information was given to the commission regarding turnings and access to turnings and so forth. There's not going to be any basis to augment the record with that. An appeal is taken on the record which is made. So if we appeal the thing, which you can certainly do, I'm not going to be able to get that in as an issue for discussion by the court. The court's not going to reconsider that kind of factual material because, again, it's like any appeal. You appeal any decision in any court, the appellate body is going to simply take the record that it has. So, I don't think that's going to play much as an issue. So then it comes down to, I think, sure, you can bring the appeal, maybe disqualify these people. There's a real question of whether the court will overturn the decision because it wouldn't change the result. The fact that somebody decided not to abstain probably doesn't make a difference in these circumstances. I mean, if they wanted to vote, they should have voted. It is at best no vote. At worst, it counts with majority. So you either end up with a 3-2 or 4-2 decision. And it's just a majority vote. There is no supermajority, there's no 2/3, there's no a majority of the total membership. That only applies in the event of an amendment to the regulations or amendment to the map. So if there are grounds to appeal, sure. I haven't looked at the regulations or anything to know whether there are any non-compliances with our regulations, which is the issue. The issue is not whether or not it's a good idea to have traffic exiting with the police or not, frankly. That determination is made only in the context of the zoning commission's review, and apparently they've reviewed it, and apparently they've approved it, from what I understand. So you have the selectmen can vote to appeal this thing. I think that the chances of a successful appeal are, I guess I can't answer except to say that you have to determine whether or not you have confidence in your zoning commission's ability to look at a project and see whether or not it conforms to the regulations. If they have made a mistake of that kind, I haven't been able to analyze it in enough detail to know. I can do so and attempt to figure that out. But I don't think the issue from a zoning appeal context, putting aside the ethics issue that they're not addressing, because it doesn't play. is potential very mixed result.
So this is a planning and zoning issue.
It would be the town of Clinton suing the planning and zoning commission and suing John Watts.
But
As the
back in
applicant.
2009.
Saggers, we're out of discussion. You guys had your play, heard it, there's.
And so you are confronted with the application which was given to the planning and zoning commission and its determination to approve.
Say it again.
You are confronted with the application that was presented and the evidence presented to the planning and zoning commission in this, on this occasion, and their determination whether or not to approve it.
Okay.
And I'm happy to bring the appeal. I'm happy to do it meritoriously, competently, but I think you need to know the realities.
Well, just in response to the fact that the majority of the police commission would like to see an appeal go forward, I would make a motion to, well, I don't know, did the majority, yeah,
It's
I
4 to
did
1.
read the minutes.
4 to 1.
4 to 1.
4 to 1,
Yeah.
and then the chairman wrote a letter with the.
The,
The chairman.
The chairman.
yeah, I would make a motion that the town do this appeal of the planning and zoning commission decision.
Second for discussion on that. We need a second for discussion.
Second.
All right. Discuss.
Seems to me like that's a planning and zoning issue.
And who would pay for this appeal?
Town,
The town.
How much better?
the town would,
Yeah, there you go.
let me just explain,
Yeah.
the town would pay for the appeal, and they would also pay for counsel to defend the planning and zoning commission. So you'd be paying for both sides.
Yeah.
So I'm just making a motion.
And then we
because
have
they're
to, we
near
could
and
possibly
dear to
incur
them.
costs from Watts if he decided to.
Well,
What would his part of this be if he wanted to?
well, he would defend his position as well. I mean, he would arguably participate and defend his application too. And appeals are relatively straightforward as an administrative thing. It doesn't, they don't have a tendency to run off in a lot of directions with depositions and so forth, although when you're making an allegation of conflict of interest, you have to prove that. There's a subsidiary difficulty here, which is the typical appeal from a conflict of interest, with a conflict of interest involved, frequently are raised afterwards. You know, we've suddenly found out that, nobody knew that this member had this interest, and therefore, in this case, as I understand from looking at the minutes, these issues were specifically raised. The members did not recuse themselves. They can't be forced to recuse themselves, by the way. The commission,
That's one question. They
it's an
can't.
individual choice. The chairman
I think
can't
they could.
vote them off, or the other members can't vote them out. They have to make that determination themselves. So there will be an issue raised about, if we knew this at the time, there should have been evidence put in and so forth. So there's a potential, the point of the discussion is there's potential for some depositions in a case like this, and some expense, but I don't think it would be extreme, out of the ordinary, as we say.
What about if we just wait for Watts to make his move and
He's already done it, it's been approved.
There's no move.
There's no move.
okay, so
He has no, his
He brought-
issues with zoning are over because he's been approved.
He brought, just to give you a little context, if it's worth anything, he brought in an application which was denied. Strike that, I'm sorry. He was proceeding with his project. He was served with a cease and desist order on a sign and some other points. He appealed that cease and desist order, and that's a pending action which I'm defending. He then apparently brought this amended plan in for approval, which has now been approved, which takes care of that pending appeal. I haven't done any work on that appeal over here, and just monitor it because I was told that he was coming in with this other application. So
So
now
that's
that
over.
application, well, that one's over with. So, in terms of Watts making a move, he's got to move.
he's in the driver's